Story 1. My freshman year of college, I used to go and hang out with some of my buddies over at his parents' house. They lived out in the country and there wasn't a whole lot out there. We loved going out there because it was a huge house and we had plenty of room to do whatever we wanted. He always had mentioned there were creepy things that would go on at this house, but he couldn't quite put his finger on it. Said that he would see the cat looking in certain directions, following something. He swore there was something there, but just couldn't put his finger on it. One evening we showed up to hang out at his house and stay the night and watch scary movies, and there was a storm that was blowing in. And you could tell because the breeze had kicked up quite a bit. His house was on a huge hill, and you could see for miles and miles and miles when you went upstairs and looked out the back windows. So, I took it upon myself to go up there alone. I could see the lightning from quite a distance, striking here, striking there. It was actually beautiful. And then all of a sudden, something broke through the silence.
I'm not scared.
I immediately froze, stiff from head to toe. I mustered up the strength to say it again, just to make sure I wasn't losing my mind. Then, sure as I'm telling you this story, I hear it again.
I'm not scared.
I took off, running immediately, hauling down the stairs like never before. I run into my friend John, who could see I was shaken up, and said, "What's wrong, buddy?" I said, "Dude, you're not gonna believe what I'm about to tell you, but there is a voice upstairs." He looked at me and started laughing. I said, "Bro, I'm serious. Come upstairs. I swear you'll hear it too." He let out a gasp. "All right, let's go check it out." We slowly started walking up the steps. It was pitch black upstairs. As soon as we got to the top of the stairs, he could see the storms through the windows. He said, "Whoa, that's a crazy storm coming in." So we sat in the silence and he listened for the voice, but nothing was happening. As soon as he turned to go for the stairs, we both look at each other with that look of terror, eyes wide as could be, as we both heard,
I'm not scared.
Immediately my friend John said, "What?" And we both took off down the stairs, where we ran into my friend's dad, who was a huge guy. In fact, this guy feared nothing, so we thought. He was probably about 6'5" and very large. He could tell that we were visibly shaken, and we told him what was going on upstairs. He immediately paused and made his way towards the stairs. We followed behind him, and he sat in the silence and listened. And I prayed that we weren't losing our minds. He was looking all around the room. And then, sure enough, the voice came.
I'm not scared.
You could tell the fear started to sink in. He started digging through boxes. All of a sudden, he pulls out what appears to be a Furby doll. And the Furby doll said it again, but this time dragging it out longer. Almost like this doll had a mind of its own.
I'm not scared.
John's dad immediately started inspecting the doll to figure out how in the world it was doing it. We heard him say, "This is impossible.
This thing hasn't worked in years. We were going to throw it away.
From that night on, I never disbelieved any story that my buddy told me about that house. Story 2. Many years ago, I used to be in a rock and roll band. We would have tours from time to time. This time we were heading back from Wisconsin all the way to Texas. It was about a 16-hour plus drive. We were in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. It was about 2, 3 in the morning, pitch black. Everyone on the bus was asleep except for me and the manager. The manager was driving and I was in the passenger seat. We were trying to keep each other awake, so we decided we would tell creepy ghost stories. We went back and forth telling stories. He then said, "You know, there is one thing that's creepy that goes on at my house, and I'm not sure what to make of it. My dog sometimes will randomly look into the hallway from the living room when we're sitting and watching TV on the couch, almost like something were there, grabbing her attention. I look and I see nothing but darkness in the hallway. So I decided I would start taking pictures just to see if there would be anything to come of it." He handed me his iPhone and I started looking at the pictures, and sure enough, his dog's head would be completely turned looking at the hallway while he was watching TV, but all I could see was darkness in the hallway and could not make out anything. At this time, Instagram was really popular. He said, "Hey, I have an idea. We should take the photos and put them in Instagram and change the contrast. So what will be black will turn to white and white to black." I told him I had no idea what he was talking about. I wasn't very good with the social media outlets. So he got the phone, while driving of course, and made me really nervous, but said it would just take a quick second. I even heard the bass player rummaging around and saying, "Hey man, are you texting while driving? Not cool." And then all of a sudden, I saw his mouth drop, the screen lighting up his face from the light. He wasn't saying anything. All of a sudden, it looked like he started tearing up, and I said, "What is going on?" He started to hand me the phone, shaking, and said, "Look." Immediately my body froze. I started losing control of my eyes. They started watering in disbelief. There before me in the picture, I saw a perfect shadow person. I had never seen this before, and I just couldn't believe it. I knew he wasn't lying because I saw the whole thing happen in front of me. The shadow person was not even trying to hide behind a corner or anything. It was a full silhouette of what looked like possibly a small woman. He then teared up even more and said, "This must be my grandmother. She died in the house. That's the only logical explanation I can think of." When we got back and were unloading our equipment, I made the manager show my wife so that she would know the story was real.